She said it without blinking, like she was reading a grocery list. If you go to your best friend's bachelor party, I'm sleeping with my ex. No raised voice, no hesitation. Just the quiet threat of someone who thinks she's already won. I watched her mouth move, slow and deliberate, like she'd rehearsed it in front of a mirror. And for a second, I almost laughed because it sounded so absurd. Like she was testing gravity, seeing how far she could drop before she hit the ground. I didn't ask why. I didn't ask who. I just said, "Don't do anything I wouldn't do." Then I walked out. Her silence followed me like a shadow all the way to the car, and when I turned the ignition, my hands didn't shake. Not because I wasn't angry, but because anger requires heat. What I felt was colder, cleaner, the kind of cold that doesn't fade. It calculates. The drive to the party was 3 hours of quiet strategy. Each mile added distance, not from her, but from the illusion she'd built. She always needed control. Where I went, who I saw, who I didn't. And I'd let her believe it worked, because sometimes control is easiest to dismantle from the inside. Her ex, a name she'd buried, but never deeply enough. I'd seen his number once in her phone, archived, not deleted. That told me everything I needed to know. People don't erase what they want to keep. They just hide it under a layer of plausible denial. I imagined her that night, pacing, imagining me with my friends, imagining herself proving a point. And the beauty of it was, she'd never know she'd already lost before the game began, because I'd made a call before I left, to someone she didn't know I still spoke to, someone who used to be her ex. The bachelor party wasn't chaos, it was precision disguised as celebration. Laughter, music, whiskey glass reflections. But I wasn't there for the noise. He showed up late. Her ex. Same smirk, same cheap confidence. He didn't know I knew. Not yet. I handed him a drink. He laughed, said something about old times, and I smiled. But my mind was already replaying her voice in that kitchen. If you go, I'm sleeping with my ex. The irony was exquisite. I showed him my phone. Her message, screenshot, timestamped, perfect. He read it once, then again. His laughter cracked open the air between us. "Man," he said, "she really hasn't changed." I let him talk. Every word he said was another stitch in the coffin of whatever she thought she was holding together. Later, I told him what to do, how to play along when she texted, how to respond with just enough warmth to keep her guessing. He agreed too easily. People like him always do when they see a chance to be part of something cruel. And so the stage was set. I poured another drink, let the night move around me like a storm I'd already predicted. When my phone buzzed, her name lighting up the screen, I didn't answer, just watched it vibrate until it went silent. The silence was the sound of control shifting hands. The next morning I woke up to 3 messages from her. "Did you get there safe? You're ignoring me now? Forget it, I'm done waiting around." I didn't reply. Instead, I opened the photo I'd taken the night before. Her ex, drink in hand, laughing mid-sentence as he looked at her message on my phone. The same message that said she'd sleep with him out of spite. A perfect image of irony. I sent it to her. No caption, no context, just the live photo, sound included. His laughter filled the silence between us like a confession she didn't mean to make. A minute passed, then 2. Finally, her message came through. "What did you do?" I didn't answer, because the answer was already written across every second of that photo. I'd shown her what betrayal looked like from the outside, what it felt like to be laughed at by the ghosts she'd tried to weaponize. The only thing left was silence, and I've always been good at silence. When I got home, she was waiting. Same apartment, same scent, same lies repackaged as questions. "Why would you do that?" she asked. Her voice cracked on "you" like the word itself had turned against her. I didn't shout. I didn't accuse. I just handed her phone back, screen lit with the message thread she thought she'd deleted. Her breath hitched when she saw the timestamps, the overlap, the proof. "You told him before you told me," I said. She shook her head, tears already falling, automatic, rehearsed. "It was a mistake," I cut her off. "No, it was a pattern." Then I stepped past her, toward the door. "You said if I went, you'd sleep with him," I said quietly. "You were right about one thing, you just didn't realize he'd already been invited." Her sob was almost theatrical, but the best performances always come too late. I left the door open behind me, let the cold air fill the space where she used to stand. Driving home that night felt different. The road didn't end, it unfolded. I didn't feel anger anymore, or satisfaction, just the clean aftermath of truth finally surfacing. She'd tried to turn love into leverage, but leverage only works when the other person still cares about the outcome. I did once, deeply, enough to let her build her throne on top of my restraint. But not anymore. By the time I reached the city limits, her number was gone from my phone. Her voice, too, replaced by the faint echo of her ex's laughter in that photo. Poetic, really. How easily the balance shifts when you stop playing their game. Some people destroy you to feel powerful. Some people rebuild in silence. I chose silence, because sometimes the cruelest revenge is simply letting them hear nothing after the truth.